You're watching 5 News Weekend Edition with Mariah Congedo, keeping you connected.
Now, according to the Arizona Department of Public Safety, the car they're believed to be traveling in was spotted on an interstate earlier this morning. Governor Justice said he expects to see aggressive maintenance done on every road in every county. This certainly has been the talk for a while after the council voted to not renew current city manager Kim Haas's contract. For 5 News, I'm Mariah Congedo, keeping you connected in Harrison County. And Josh, I'm going to throw it back to you so you can see kind of how narrow this turn really was. So here's the building here. The truck came around this outside. This time of year, home security businesses often see an increase in sales. A camera like this will show a homeowner just who may be approaching their porch to steal a package. Back in November, I measured this slip at about 21 inches deep. Now it's 4 feet deep. It's dropped nearly 2 feet. Good evening, I'm Mariah Congedo. Thank you for joining us. Well, new tonight, Jeffrey Epstein died today after apparently hanging himself in his jail cell in New York City. Four-legged, heavy-eyed intruder surprised deputies in Montana. They say they found this. Thank you, Jordan. New tonight, 2 people are dead after a head-on collision in Indiana County that happened yesterday. Batman may have ended his day at the hospital, but he started it in Star City.
Cross our fingers.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Around the state, a man was arrested after an incident that exposed a Cabell County Sheriff's deputy to what's believed to have been heroin laced with fentanyl. With that comes school buses back on the road. Sister station WSAZ's Brendan Tierney has what you need to tell your kiddos to make sure they stay safe on their way back to the classroom. Right. Good news there. Well, what can you tell us? Good news about the weather too, right? Today was beautiful. They have all those simulators and stuff, and I don't know if they have any around here. If they do, let us know. But I've always wanted to go because it looks so fun. You just float around. And that help came by way of her 5-year-old son. The boy made a call that doctors say likely saved her life. Sri Lankan officials are making arrests after coordinated Easter Sunday suicide bombings. No further plans have been announced by the DOT with the release of the list. Several people came out to the Shack Quack Family Festival today in Star City for activities and to help raise money for a fundraiser. A developing story out of Clarksburg, where the suspended city manager Martin Howe has filed a complaint against the mayor and 2 members of council. I'm curious.
Probably everybody, but...
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see about that. 9 are dead after a shooter opened fire in Dayton, Ohio's Oregon district early this morning. An Arkansas community wants families burying loved ones in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio to know they're not alone. Happy National Parents Day to everyone out there, and I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Thanks for joining us on this weekend's edition of 5 News at 11. February 19th, 5 News aired a month-long investigative report on the neglected roads taking over the state. Exactly a week later, Governor Justice directed former Department of Transportation Secretary Tom Smith to take a crew to Preston County District 4 to assess road conditions. After days of navigating the roads, they were to go back to Charleston and develop a plan. Tom Smith was fired just 12 days later. On March 13th, Governor Justice held a press conference to discuss a plan for secondary road maintenance. In the plan, he discussed buying more equipment for each district and hiring temporary employees. 1 day later, a rapid response team was sent to Preston County. 6 days later, Governor Justice held a meeting with all DOH district engineers and county supervisors. He gave the 10 districts 72 hours to put together a list of all of the roads in the county needing repair. And on March 25th, standing at 21 inches tall, the lists were collected and distributed to the public. And while we speak, a team of more than 100 employees are working on designated areas of Preston County. 10 crews working on ditching, shoulder stabilization, and pipe replacements. And now that it's all laid out, let's see what DOH crews have been doing for the last few weeks.
I hope to goodness above we can do a whole lot more than make a dent in fixing our potholes and patching our roads and get our roads back the way that they ought to be.
Governor Justice made it clear that the focus of secondary road maintenance would begin immediately. The spring and summer statewide paving and resurfacing program includes contracted work and DOH crews.
We need to do our big projects, no question about that. But we need to focus back on getting to the convenience store.
According to the DOT, they're working to find the most fiscally responsible way to fund these projects. The legislature has authorized the DOH to shift pay-as-you-go money toward core maintenance funding. The Roads to Prosperity projects won't be forgotten, however, says newly appointed DOT Secretary Byrd White.
We're going to try to maintain what we have, make them better, make them passable. Then we'll get to building the new roads.
About 2 weeks ago, White said 99 miles of the county roads had already seen some attention.
Last week, we ditched 99 miles of road.
In Preston County.
In Preston County.
While driving through Preston County, nearly every way you looked, you saw this. Lights, loud noises, and traffic. But it was a promise Governor Justice made.
We're coming, and we're coming with every dollar that we're going to have.
As construction crews battled the damage built up for decades, other members of the DOH were working on their lists of every road in priority order and with specific direction of what needs done on the road. Preston County's notes, handwritten and 83 pages long. On the list includes George Washington Highway, West Virginia 7 Veterans Memorial Highway, West Virginia 26 North Preston Highway, West Virginia 72 Cheat River Highway, and Marcus Road, among many others. One thing Governor Justice wanted to make clear was that no county is more important than another. Are we focusing on those northern parts, Mon County? I know Preston County is getting a lot of focus too.
There's no question. To me, there is no difference between the most southern county and the most northern county.
Another new plan known as SWAT, a program for all counties and districts for the DOH in the state. SWAT stands for Safety with Action Today. The idea that citizens will get answers in a timely manner for concerns they may have with road conditions in their area.
We want to make things better.
Once a SWAT form is filled out, SWAT operators in Charleston will send it out to individual districts with a response for you. On a more district level, concerns from each district's counties must be answered within 7 business days of receiving a complaint. These repairs not going to happen overnight, but according to Justice, aggressive maintenance will be made all the time. And his message:
we're going to fix the damn roads.
Police, anybody in here?
After responding to several fires at abandoned houses, the Clarksburg Police Department is taking proactive measures to enforce the law.
Looking for people hiding.
So far, Chief Hilliard says they've issued 27 trespassing citations, 4 warrants were served, and 279 houses have been checked.
I have 2 officers working in pairs due to the fact that working in those type of conditions. In the structures that's unsafe, the officers do not enter those. They just check the outside of the perimeters.
For 3 years, the city's demolition program was put to a halt. However, now several houses are being torn down every month.
I personally caught 3 or 4 people up here in this, sleeping on these.
Chief Hilliard says the detail will last until these problems are taken care of. He says they often take away from other calls patrolmen need to respond to.
And the patrol officers having to take time away from other calls for service, tying those officers up and unable to answer other calls in a timely manner.
Orange condemnation signs pinned on many of the houses, and before we could even enter one, the officers advised us to stay outside.
You might want to wait outside.
Until the all clear was given.
Needles, drug paraphernalia, things like that laying around.
One attempted arson was foiled when officers made their daily rounds, and while stepping into the mess left behind, it's an effort to continue helping the community.
Some of the structures were getting repeat offenders that are returning back to the property. They've got their trespassing citations and they haven't returned to those locations.
Officers say they come back to houses several times, and every time there's something new painted on the walls or thrown on the ground.
Some of them are homeless, some of them don't stay at the mission and they find shelter.
For 5 News, I'm Mariah Congedo, keeping you connected in Harrison County.
Each day goes by, it gets worse and worse.
Residents and local business owners in Osage are angry over a building that's been falling apart for months. What once was an area where kids walked through to go to school is now a safety hazard and an eyesore.
One day I'm in the apartment, I hear something like a truck went through a building or something. And then when I came out, there's all of this.
This building, crumbling bit by bit into the street and onto the sidewalk, is the reason residents say it feels like their beloved town is being forgotten.
Osage is always the last button on Gable's horn, and that's just not fair.
Dolly King lives across the street, and this is her view every day. She says she's been in touch with the owner and the county to get the disaster cleaned up.
It's quite an emotional scene. I don't want them to to finish out their lives staring at a mess that someone lives across town and doesn't even have to drive by and look at.
Neighbors tell me the property owner ignores the situation. However, the county says it's in the complaint stage and will be presented to the commission next week.
It's got to be torn down. There's nothing, see in there, there's nothing left there.
Several kids and pets live by the building, and the community says it smells and is rotting away. Even culverts are clogged with debris.
Sometimes you see rats, the whole 9 yards coming out here, and all. It's just not good.
Many who live here say it's where they grew up, and it's a shame to see it the way it is. Anderson says it's an easy fix.
This right here, all this could be gone in a minute, so they need to get their butts on the ball. Just get on the ball and get it done.
Tim Fitchett, a litter control officer for the county, says it's being treated through a process that could take 6 months.
It's totally unacceptable to me, and I will not stop. We will be pursuing this until this goes away.
For 5 News, I'm Mariah Congedo, keeping you connected in Monongalia County.